Is it really a surprise to you that you find yourself feeling like you need to lower your commission? You think the whole world and everybody who's competing with you is charging less than you? And it seems and again feels like the norm right now. However, let me tell you, it's not. Why does everybody lower their commission so fast? We're going to explore that today a little bit. And then I'm going to cover specifically with you guys some things that you can do if you don't want to be in that group of people who lower their commission. Because let me tell you, you don't have to. I do a lot. I sell stuff online. I do coaching. I have a real estate team that's nationwide. We are not lowering our fees. We're raising them. I'm charging more for coaching today than I did a year ago or 2 years ago. I just signed up 4 new clients this last week in my coaching. Added 3 new members on Team BC. I have new agents coming into my team and my business and my coaching and getting listings every month and getting them at 6 and 7% commission. We've been doing this. So in our ecosystem, we're still excelling and accelerating at a more rapid rate. However, what you're seeing in the market, generally speaking, is the opposite. So we're going to discuss why people are doing it. And again, some things that you can do to prevent yourself from falling into it. Because here's the first thing. You have to distinguish you as a business and as a salesperson, which camp, C-A-M-P, which camp are you going to be a part of? Are you going to fight with everybody else to be the cheap Walmart, right, discount store, dollar store? If you are, that's fine. But you've made your choice and now you have to compete in that game of being the cheapest. Or you're not going to do that. You're going to differentiate yourself. You're going to charge a premium. You're going to be different, whatever that is. Whether it's your skill set, your results, your niche, you're going to have something here that separates you. The prestige of your brand. Are you a luxury brand, right? There's a million examples, but you're going to have to choose. And whether you realize it or not, whether you've made a conscious choice or not, you're a part of one of these 2 camps. Most people, without realizing it, are here. So if you default to, well, nothing makes me different, I've never put any thought into it, I'm not sure, then you're by default here, because then you're in the rat race with everybody else. So what's one of the easiest and simplest things that you can do in order to get you over here? It's build a strong skill set. When you learn how to communicate at a very high level, you immediately separate yourself from the competition. Why? Because you start giving off subconscious cues to people through your marketing, through your speech, your demeanor, your interactions with them, that you are the expert and that you're in this camp. That is the cheat code. That is the shortcut. You pay the price and you get and you develop the skill set. I was getting top commissions from the beginning. I got my ass kicked at the start, of course. But I did everything, left no stone unturned, worked hours and hours every day, invested time, money, blood, sweat, tears into developing and refining the skill set. Which is why in the beginning I started accelerating quicker than other people. I dedicated myself to the craft. Are you doing that? Because most of you aren't. The extent of your study is watching videos and listening to podcasts, and you'll read the occasional book or listen to the occasional audiobook. That's what everybody does. So if you do what everybody else does, what are you going to get? The same results that everybody else gets. Are you willing to double down on that? Because that's what I get asked. What's the easiest? What's the fastest? What's the shortcut? It's that. It's develop the skill set. If you do that, that is the quickest way. Because other than that, what can we do? Gather the experience, get the sales, right? And build up the numbers. But that's going to take time and experience. You can't just get that overnight. The quickest, yet most arduous and difficult simultaneously is to develop your skill set, right? So what are some other things that we can do? Well, we know, hey, I'm not going to get in that race. So the second one is this. The first one we've already established. The second one is have some standards. Whatever your standard is in your business, you hold to it. So if you're a realtor watching this and you're like, hey, Bryan, my standard is to get 5% on my listings, cool. Then you hold to that. And if a client is not willing to pay it, you don't bend and break. You walk away. One of the first listings that I went on as a new real estate agent, I walked away because a lady was unwilling to pay the full commission. And I was torn because on one end, I was taught by the top dogs, you walk away. The same thing I'm telling you here. But on the other end, the desperation's kicking in. I'm broke, I need money. But I stood on principle. And I said, you know what, long term, the top dogs told me to do this, I need to do it. And what happened? I went back and I looked bummed out. And I told my broker and the top guys, man, I didn't get the listing. But you know what they told me? All the top dogs, and this really helped me. They said, you know what, dude? You're way ahead of the game. You're brand new, you're on one of your first appointments, and you walked away, dude, man, you're gonna be a beast because you've already set the standard and you held to it. You're miles ahead of other realtors because 99 out of 100 in your position would have compromised and taken it. And if you compromise there, you're gonna compromise in other areas of your life, but also in other areas of your business. And man, they were right. They were so right. But that let me hold my head up high and move forward knowing, you know what? I did make the right choice. You know why? Because while most people are laughing at me, the top dogs told me that what I did was right. And that's all that matters because I want to be like the top dogs. So where they're at now, that's where I want to be. Now, a lot of you listening to this can probably already think of a time that you compromised. And that's okay if you have, but you have to stop. Otherwise, you will never establish this and go from this camp to this camp, which we discussed in the beginning. You can't just fly in the middle, whatever. If by default, if you're not paying attention to this, you're in this camp. You've commoditized yourself, because that's what this is. When you're commoditized, when you do and act and you are the same as everybody else, but even worse, if the public perceives you the same as everybody else, you're commoditized. Then it's a race for who quotes them the highest price and the lowest fee or commission. That's it. And then you can't break out of that. But again, if you go back to my first point and you have the skill set, when they interact with your marketing, when they talk to you, they're going to know, okay, this person is not in this camp, they're in this one, and they're going to deal with you differently. You'll start getting less objections. The questions and conversations that you have with people will start to change. They'll have a different tone. But if you're the cheapest one, then it's, hey, give me a quote and I'll let you know. If you're not, it's a different presentation. I remember I got to the point where when I would get objections from people, it was almost as if they were like asking permission. They would huddle up and then come back and say, hey, would it be okay if maybe you lowered your commission? And I'm like, come on, guys, I'm not going to lower my commission. I appreciate you asking, but it's not going to happen. Versus, 6%, get out of my house. I'm not going to pay 6%. This is ridiculous. Those are two different objections. Two completely different objections. What changed? The perception of me, if I'm going to get those two objections. One views me as a commodity. The other one doesn't. The other one wants to work with me. The other one respects my fees and sees it as worth it. The first one doesn't. They see you as an expense, not an investment. So we have standards, the second point, right? The first point, the skill set. But again, many people have a misconstrued viewpoint on what it's going to take to develop the skill set. You will have to dedicate yourself. Like when you read books about old warriors and martial artists and people who have dedicated their lives to something, you're going to have to do that with your skill set. Nothing less. If you want to get to that level, your career and your life depends on it. I'm here to help, right? Let me know. But let's continue. Number 3, all right? We have the skill set, and we have the standard. But what's another thing that we can do? Okay? This is the third one. Every single thing about you has to scream and embody that you're worth it. So let's take you out of the business for a second, whatever business that you're in listening to this. Does every example of you and your life and your philosophies and the way that you live and your daily actions embody and represent the one who's worth it? Do you interact with people at that level? Do you dress and present yourself at that level? Do you communicate at that level? Do you live at that level? Is your home clean and organized? Is your car washed and clean and organized and smell good? Do you have those standards for yourself? Do you go to sleep on time, wake up on time, follow your schedule, treat your business like an actual business? Because if you're like 99% of the world right now, running around looking for the shortcut and trying to fake the lifestyle, or that you're working, but in the background you're just being lazy and you don't want to work, it's not going to happen. And this one, I think, is the most important one. Everyone's looking for a shortcut. I just snapped a picture on my phone about an ad that I got on Instagram. Something about lazy agents, this is a way to make $1 million in real estate. And I'm sitting there saying, the market is so messed up that people are literally promoting being lazy and people are buying that bullshit. It is insane to me. So I'm mad at the marketers, but I'm also mad at all of us because they're marketing that because it's working. And people are actually saying, yes, I can be lazy and make a lot of money. You gotta be kidding me. Now, obviously, the way the results are in entrepreneurship and real estate and sales prove otherwise, because the stats are daunting. People are doing worse than ever. But that's the mentality. That's the general mentality. So if you're watching my videos or my channel and you're looking for shortcuts, or I want to make it easy and I want to skip the work, I'm not the dude for you. I'd recommend you go ahead and unsubscribe, because I've never been about that for 12 years. That's not real, that's not raw, that's not authentic, and that's not honest. And I'm never going to do that to you. I'm not going to bullshit you like that, because then I would just be doing it for profit or attention. And those aren't my sole motivators. Sure, I want to make money like any other business person, but I'm not going to lie to you. I don't need to. I don't need to lie, cheat, or steal. Neither does my team. I don't need to do that to my clients, to anybody online. For what? For what? It just doesn't make any sense. So that's, in a nutshell, why everybody's lowering their commission. They have no choice. They have no other choice, because they can't compete. They're not better than the competition. So you have to make a decision. Are you going to be better than the competition? Are you going to compete? Or are you going to wither up and die and chase everybody else to the bottom of the barrel to be the cheapest one? Because at the end of the day, when you have no differentiating factor, no way of separating yourself, no way of demonstrating that you're better, your only choice is to drop your fee. And this is an objection handler that I use with my clients. Mr. and Mrs. Client, under what circumstances would I drop my commission? Well, I don't know, Brian. Well, if I have no other value add, if I can't do anything to separate myself, what's the only thing that I can do? Lower my fee to make myself more attractive, right? Now, is that the type of agent that you want? That their only recourse and only way of making a deal is by offering a discount? Try that one and see how it hits different. Now I've turned dropping your fee into being a negative. Reframe. But that's the reality. When you have no other out, when you have no other differentiating factor, value add, unique value proposition, your only recourse is to lower your fee. And a lot of people don't stop and think about it, but that's the truth. But like I said in the beginning, if you're the Walmart, right? If you're the cheap option and that's your business model, more power to you. There's a market for that, and go for it. But I think most people who follow me especially don't want to do that. They just default to that because they feel like there's no other option. But your shortcut, your golden ticket, your silver magic bullet, whatever you want to call it, is to develop the skill set. It's going to take time, money, and effort, but it's going to be worth it in the end. All right, my friends? So stop lowering your commission unless you want to. I'm doing a free webinar tomorrow, link in the description. I have a ton of free resources for you. Those of you who really want to dedicate yourself to building your skill set, I'm here to coach and train you. All the links are in the description. Reach out to me and we'll chat. All right, have a good day.